Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi LIVENODING. Today we're gonna talk animations in SVerchok. So with SVerchok, animation is slightly different. You might think it's actually complicated, but it's actually not at all. You can create animations almost with anything. So let's start with a box, and the output's gonna be viewer pmesh. So the box data coming in, components data, and then you want to animate. So what kind of animations you want to create? If we have, let's say we want to start with a grid vector p field and make it 4x4x4, so we have 64 cube. So we can start, this is like the starting position of the cube. How do you want to animate it? You can use, for example, noise displays, and you can, let's see, or you can actually use vector noise, because this is like expecting vertices, right? So you can actually use these vertices and then use it as the locations, and then you can animate. So this is one way. You have like a wiggle. The thing with SVerchok is was originally for parametric modeling. So you are generating, basically you are generating values, motions, and you're also generating mesh data on the fly. So that's the idea. And if you want to animate, that's something that's more traditional. Like in animation nodes, you have like animate vector, animate value, animate float, or animate matrix. In SVerchok, there's actually mix numbers and mix inputs. Mix inputs is everything. You can animate this with this much more easily. So you can animate integer, number, float, vector, color, quaternion, or matrix. Matrix is like transformation. So this is probably what you want. You can mix and match anything easily. So let's unplug this. Let's mix the matrix. Okay, mix the blue pill matrix and the red pill matrix. So you get a purple matrix. So I'm just joking. It's from the Matrix movie. So let's say you have two matrix value that you want to mix. You can start with again vector p, which is like a grid of vector, and we can make it again 4x4x4 is 64. Okay, so 64 cubes, and then you can mix it with random vector, and you can say 64 also, and then you can mix the two. You can see this is the grid and this is the random. The random, you might notice, okay, it's more like spherical than random. So if you want to really scatter it, use randomize. So this is like the basic idea. File, save as, SVerchok, animations, mixer. So mix is the key here. It's almost like cycles or EV. So you have your box coming in. You can replace box with anything, really. And again, if you want to mix a color is actually here as well. Color. So you can mix color. So blue color and red. Pick blue or pick red. And then in SVerchok with material, like you can have two material, but you don't usually blend the material easily with a PBR. That's normally you just use, like, the easiest is to use vertex color. So objects color goes in, so it goes to SVcall. So for each objects, let's say we're gonna give it a material, and then for the material shader, let's see, let's find the shader. Here's our shader. View, frame, view all. Okay. Vertex color. Get our SVcall. This is the vertex color coming in from SVerchok. Goes into here. Let's look at the color. So it's red. Okay, seems to be working, and you want to mix it. 0 and 1, 0 and 1. Okay. Now, how do we animate actually? How do we animate it? You can perhaps use frame, and if you use oscillator, so this is like totally procedural. If you want to do it this way, it's totally fine. So sine frame value coming in, and you want to multiply this with a bit of number. So frame goes in and out. It's a little bit fast. So it goes between -1 and 1. Okay, that makes sense. How about, because this frame coming in and we multiply it, and then we use sine oscillator, so it's gonna do a sine wave thing. And then we probably want to map range, because the sine output is, if you use the stethoscope, the sine output is, oh, this one is between 0 and 2. That's interesting. I thought that the output will be between -1 and 1. Apparently, of course, there's offset. That's why. So when it's negative, this one is complaining. So you want to remap it. So now we can remap this value, sine value, between -1 and 1, and it's become 0 and 10, between 0 and 10, which is too much. So now it's animating between 0 and 2. And this one goes into the color. So see? So red, blue, and mixing somewhere in between. It's kind of like purplish. So that's pretty much it actually. With the matrix, of course, with this, since this is random, if you want to have like random rotations, you can also have it, you can make it this way. And now with the blue, everything should be in order. Red, chaotic, and back. Okay, this one, you can also swap the two value, and then you can also mirror it. This is the animation actually. You can choose linear, bounce, elastics. Linear usually is okay, and then you can use the ease in, ease out. You can actually use both or just one. If you want to animate more traditionally, like using controller, you can use empty. This is an empty in the scene. It will not render. You can use objects input. This one is a bit broken, object in light, but just use this objects in. Grab the objects, get selections, and then from this empty, just grab the matrix out. So again, matrix out, vector out. Depends how you want to animate that controller. Usually I just use the locations and pick the X. So grab the matrix, grab the output, grab the X. The X will control the value. So, and we usually want to map range as well. So map range. So the value of X of the empty between -10 and 10, just remap it into 0 and 1. So this is another way you can animate. So this value goes into the factor, goes into mixed color. So this is basically it. This is the basic. So when we run the frame keyframe, we can mix between two matrix positions and two color. red or blue, and anything in between, purple. So that's really the basic of animations in SVerchok. Yeah, I think this is something that I like to also put into my books. I don't know if I ever gonna finish it. It's writing a book for something that's continuously being developed. Blender, SVerchok, and also like animation nodes, sort car. It's interesting, you know. You probably can never finish it. So the book needs to be always continuously being updated as well. But currently, I think SVerchok is almost version 1 is almost like quite complete. You can play around with a lot of nodes, and it's really powerful if you understand what's going on. Yeah, but it's a bit like adventure. Like if you wanna maybe build an island, adventure of Link in Zelda Breath of the Wild. That's actually a good analogy, right? If you want to learn nodes from scratch, don't try to understand everything, but know what you need. Like the minimum basic requirement for node-based or procedural thinking is like Zelda, right? Zelda, you are going into an island, and inside this island there's a mountain, there's a shrine, there's a lot of monsters. You have nothing, but you're gonna have sword, you have armor, and you have what else? You have bow. Oh, this is shield, sword, shield, and bow and arrow. So you can start to kill the monster. You can start to collect items. So think of procedural noding just like this. You will conquer like the whole island, and then you will move to bigger stuff. So you need to build something from scratch that's kind of modular and useful and procedural, and then you're gonna continue something that's bigger. You are probably here using Blender. Maybe one day you're gonna use like other software package like Maya, Houdini, whatever. But this is really good place to start. Yeah, I will actually build the whole level using SVerchok at some point. Maybe you know, build the mountain hill, build the little pond and trees, plant, the whole island. I can make an island right now, actually. No, actually, maybe that's for the next video. But anyway, that's simple animations and the basic idea of how you can use SVerchok to animate. I think it's very interesting, and yeah, you will learn a lot about value and how the value is changing over time, how you can mix the data. This is the value coming in. You can see there's a lot of value. Why? Because we have 125 blocks from the very beginning. We have 125 different value that is changing, and and we are controlling it using this empty. And we are using the empty to control the interpolations between value. And thanks to the mixed matrices, this one is one powerful little node. Okay, thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.